Hey everybody, this is World War Guy here today, and as you guys can hopefully tell, I'm doing another review video. This time it is on a Reproduction World War II German canteen. What am I saying? The canteen that we're reviewing from is from at the front, and I'm going to let you place your bets on which one might be the Reproduction one. Okay, you got your bets. It's this one. This is the Reproduction one. I'll go over on the covers, straps, hardware, cup, as well as the canteen itself, comparison with an original continental one with an original coconut one. And then I have an extra cover here which I'll also go over more towards the end. So this canteen I got for Christmas, so thank you parents. Very awesome gift. When you first get it out of the box, it looks really good. It looks very accurate, very similar to the original one, as you guys can hopefully tell there. Of course, some differences, the less paint chipping, the straps are not as worn, and the cover is a bit different color. But that's not a big problem because in wartime there was a lot of different color covers. So when you take off the straps, which I'll do for all of them real quick here, and I apologize if there is any extra noise in the background. I am in my house because it is raining outside and it is cold outside, and I don't really feel like getting a cold because I just got over one. So when you take off, oh my. So this is what the canteens look like without a cup. The original Reproduction one, as you can see here on the cap, we'll go with the cap, the top edge here is a bit more pushed out and it is very sharp. When I first got it, it felt like I was going to cut my fingers trying to open this. And then as you can see here, this is more squared off. While the original one here is more rounded and it doesn't stick out as much. And it's a lot smoother, so when I go to open it, it doesn't feel like I'm going to cut my fingers. And here's the coconut example. This one sticks a bit more out, but you still have that round feel to it, and it's not going to cut your fingers off. On the attachment that attached the canteen to the strap, this one you have a bit of a nut going up, pretty defined there, which is not incorrect because here's the coconut one. Again, it's pushed out a bit more, while this one is a flat one. And the reason why I believe this one's a flat one is because I believe this canteen is a bit of a mix and match. So the person who built this canteen had a cup, or not a cup, a cap, a strap, a cover, and a canteen, and just put it together. That being said, the canteen itself is a 1955 dated one. If you guys can see that. While the cap is a 1939 dated one. So it's possible that it was just a mix and match. Nevertheless, it's still accurate because it's still original items. And then speaking of stamps, here is the stamp on the cap here. For focus. WAL 1939. And then here's the stamping for the Reproduction one, which is good, I would say. HRE 1938. And then here's the coconut one. FSS 1936. So stampings are good on the Reproduction one. I'm happy with that. And since we're on the topic with caps, when you go to unscrew your original one, because you're thirsty, it doesn't take too long to unscrew. Yeah, it's still pretty long compared to your modern day water bottle, but as an original wartime canteen, it's not too bad. Again, with the coconut one, not too bad. You can wait that time. It's not too long of a wait. When you have your Reproduction though, and you're dying of thirst, and you just have about 5 seconds to drink, well, it takes 6 seconds. I don't know, I didn't count. But as you can see there, it takes longer to unscrew. So that's the only reason why that'd be a problem, is just because it's inaccurate. So something for you guys to think about if you want to buy this. So that's really for the cap all there is to say. Let's move on to the felt cover. Original ones, normally on the buns here, would have this neat little design on it. I forgot the correct name for it, but there you can see there. Looks like a compass almost. But the Reproduction one here is just a flat surface, flat black surface, which is incorrect because those were post-war item. Post-war Canteen covers would be flat without any design on it. So that's a bit of a bummer, mostly because, as we're talking about felt, this is a Reproduction felt cover from at the front. This is the single one where you buy it on its own. Oop, my apologies. And they got the buns right. So that's why it's a bit disappointing that when you buy this Canteen, which is, let me tell you, it's not cheap. When you buy this, you get the wrong buns, when the same company is selling you a cover for $30 that has the right buns. It just doesn't seem logical, in my opinion. But nonetheless, this is just for you guys to see the differences. Now, the color is correct on both Reproductions. This one's a bit more of a chocolate brown, but please understand, with fading, it'll get just a little bit lighter, but at the same time, look how dark this one is. There's not a big difference. And this one's pretty light, but I've seen some about that color. So the color is very nice. It's not like a grayish color that you see some cheap Reproductions with. And then the straps themselves are nice. Now, of course, you can see there's a bit of a difference. This one seems to be a bit longer than this one here. And on the back, there's not that much of a difference. There you have the hooks. But before I move on, the straps, this one got stretched out. The straps are good. I would put some Obnoffs on there so you don't just have the raw leather, so you can actually hydrate it and keep it in better shape. Now, moving on to the hook here. At the front, they have a nice hook, very durable. It's a flat back, which depends on the variant you have, because this one's not flat, it's very rounded. And there's the front. And then this one is also rounded, but I believe it is just a variant type. I don't have another hook to tell you, but just so you know, my original ones, if I can put them all together, my original ones are rounded while the Reproduction is flat. I do not have any other hooks, so I cannot tell you if that is 100% incorrect or if it's just a model type. But besides that, very nice. And at the front, they say that they put rawhide between the strap and the hook, so that's more durable, so it won't rip through in a couple of uses, which you can kind of see the similar design with the original ones. So which is a good thing. Like that, you don't have to worry about it ripping after a few uses. This one's a bit darker, but you can still see it there. And then one last thing about the Canteens before we move on to the cup. And this one, actually two things. But these don't really matter because you can't see them. When you put your finger in the Canteen here, you can feel a big bump inside, and that's where the weld meets. You can't see it on the outside. But you know, when they close it, or however they make the Canteens, this is like the residue that's left. It's a big lump, and I believe it goes all the way down the Canteen. While originals don't have that. Now, of course, that doesn't matter because you're not going to see it, and unless you stick your finger in someone's Canteen, you won't even know about it. But I just thought I should let you know. Like, this one doesn't have it. And then again with the Canteen, original wartime German ones would have a flat bottom, so you can at least have it stand on its own for a little bit while you're pouring something in it. While the Reproduction one, again, I apologize for the noise. The Reproduction one is a flat, or not flat bottom, but rounded bottom, so it cannot stand on its own. So that's something to consider. Now moving along to the cups. Put that in the center of attention. This one's an original. This is the Repro, and this one I believe is maybe a post-war one or a reproduction, because there's no date on the back, and it just seems odd that a wartime one wouldn't be dated. So keep that in mind. But this one is original. And as you can see here, the insert or whatever where the strap goes, the original one, and you can see they're about the same height there. The original one is lower while the reproduction one is higher up. You can really only tell the difference if you got two cups right next to each other. But besides that, it doesn't really matter. Of course, this one's brand new, so the paint is perfect. Here's the possibly post-war one. You know, some of the paint is still left, but it's really worn out in certain spots. And this one just has like 2% of the paint left. There's that. And the handles on the back are pretty well done on the reproduction. There's the same size as the original, so they feel the same. And the stampings are a bit different. At the front has theirs that side up, so the opening's there, and HRE 1938, while the original one has it the same way. WAL 1939, just a different size, but it doesn't really matter. So that basically wraps up the Canteen review. All in all, I think if you buy at the front's Reproduction Canteen, you'll be happy with it. The cup is nice, besides, you know, this is a bit higher up, but you can only tell the difference if two cups are next to each other, which is how I've learned that. The strap is nice, the hardware is nice, it's very durable, it's not cheap. Of course, this is flat, but that's your opinion if it matters for you. When you go to unscrew it, it takes a bit of a minute to unscrew it all the way, but again, that's not a huge deal. And the cover is nice, but the buns are probably the biggest problem for me. It's just because they prove that they can have the correct buns, they just for some reason don't. That's the biggest problem for me. At the front, Repro canteens go for about $100, so keep that in mind. It's not a cheap canteen, but for the most part, for about 90% of the canteen, they did a pretty damn good job on it. So hopefully that helped you guys make a decision, you know, whether you want to buy it or you want to think about it. Of course, originals are always going to be better, but you never want to risk damaging an original, so keep that in mind. But yeah, I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, you know, please rate it. If you guys want to comment on something, your opinion on the canteens or something I might have missed, please comment. I don't mind answering any questions. And if you're watching this and you realize you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Make sure and hit that subscribe button. But besides that, you guys have a great day.